Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Welcome to the Otaku Brothers podcast channel. Ben, do you know what episode this is?
What episode is it, Joseph?
69, baby. Episode
Let's
69,
go.
baby. And what better way to celebrate it, Ben, than by talking about arguably one of the greatest animes of all time, Attack on Titan, Ben. Oh my god, but before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, please do make sure to subscribe. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Guys, we're at 91 subs, Ben. We're 9 away from hitting 100, which is our goal. I really hope so. So, guys, if you guys could subscribe, that'd be awesome. We would love to add y'all to the channel. And just if you guys want more content about anime, Attack on Titan, other stuff, then please do subscribe. That'd be awesome. It'd be really cute of y'all. Anyways, let's get right into it, Ben. Well, I guess we'll say this. Me and Ben have not talked at all about Attack on Titan. I told him that I watched it, he watched it, and then I told him I'm gonna save everything, thoughts and all, for the show. So, Ben, I guess just getting right into it, Ben. It's over after 10 years. After 10 years, it's finally come to an end. It's been going on for so long. I know we always joked like, God, I wish it would end, but now that it's here, it's bittersweet.
Yeah,
it is
I did
bittersweet.
shit on it a lot for like dragging it out, but like, damn, it's over now.
It's really over. It's so hard.
Crazy.
It's so hard whenever a shows like this ends. I felt the same way when Breaking Bad ended. You know, it's one of those shows where it's been going on for so long and it was so good that it just kind of leaves that hole left in you with that feeling of, I don't think I'll ever be able to watch something like this ever again for the first time. And it's saddening, but I genuinely think that this was incredible. It was great. It was a great anime. But Ben, I guess, do you want to start since you've watched the anime, or since you've read the manga? So you know everything that would happen. How did it live up to it? We have a lot to talk about, but
so it's kind of interesting because whenever the manga the manga ended a while ago.
yes.
Now, excuse me.
You're good.
So everything up until like the last moments or last 10 or 15 minutes, I kind of forgot, not gonna lie. So it kind of came back to me as the show went on, but from what I remembered, and like whenever it clicked in my head, like, oh yeah, this obviously happens, I think they did a really good job of executing it. I know there were, I think for sure the last scene with Mikasa and Eren, I know people were very concerned about that they changed it, or just the ending in general, but I'm glad they stuck with it because I guess I'm one of the few people who enjoys the ending for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into that in a bit about the ending, and our thoughts and all that. But I guess I'll go ahead and give my reaction to it. Yeah, I woke up in the morning with some buddies, and we were like, we were gonna watch it together, so we put it on, and wow, it was incredible. Was not expecting to go through so many emotions and roller coasters so quickly. It was an hour. It was an hour and a half, but dude, it felt pretty long. It was pretty long.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is going by like in a good way. In a good way, I was like, wow, this so much is happening so fast, and there's still so much time left that I'm like, wow, how is this only an hour and a half? It feels like it's been going on for a while, but it was in a good way. In a good way. So yeah, wow, it literally picks off right where it leaves off at the end, which and then it just gets right back into it. Like, just wow. I will say that I was like Ben the same way. I just kind of wanted to get it over with. It felt like the legacy was kind of getting like lost, but I mean they did great. It was awesome. Going into it, I didn't know what to expect. I was very scared. I was nervous. Me and Ben had been talking so long about how we've heard that the ending has received mixed opinions, mixed reviews. And I really thought that people, I should have known, man. I should have known how stupid the internet is and overreacting about everything. I was expecting this to be like a Game of Thrones type ending, bad. Like
Uh-huh.
the way people were saying how bad it was and what I've heard, I was expecting the worst, and luckily it was amazing. I'm so happy that it was amazing and that it turned out the way it did. This show, at least for me, Ben, I'm not gonna sit here and say I started watching it season one, because I didn't. I did, however, start watching it season two. I remember literally being
Really?
in middle school, um, in Fort Worth visiting my uncle, and in the summer, and I was watching season two as it was happening, and I remember
Oh,
watching. Oh my god! Like watching Historia, Ymir, Bertolt, and Reiner in that season two. Remember when they're in like that fortress getting attacked by
yeah.
titans? It's just like wow, like seeing
Wow.
how far it's come has been crazy.
That is crazy. I
Yeah.
think I think I started whenever season 3 part 2 started airing.
Oh
Um,
really? Oh, I didn't know.
yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Oh,
it's been. I mean, even then, that was so long ago, dude. I mean, the beginning of season four has been like so long ago. So it's been going
beginning of
on.
season 4 was my freshman year.
Jeez, dude. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. I remember watching the first episode with my roommate's freshman year.
Mm,
Blows my mind how long it's been going on. But
it's crazy, man. It's crazy, and I just want to first of all, before we get into our thoughts, I just want to give it its flowers. To Attack on Titan, I think it truly has left an impact in the anime community, and I think it is rightfully deserved. I'm so excited, Ben, to go home for Thanksgiving and to finally rip open that manga volume
yeah.
of volume 34 that I've had, and there's a poster inside, so we'll see what it's about. So
Wait, there is?
yeah, come with a poster inside. So I don't know,
Okay.
even know what it looks like. So I'm excited. Oh, does he have it?
Of course I have it, Joseph.
Oh, yeah.
Such a
It's
peak.
it is so good. Um, it is really good. Ah, man, dude, it was great. But I guess we should go. I guess we can kind of go like scene by scene, kind of almost not fully scene by scene, but kind of go through it and analyzing our thoughts. Um, if that's
I didn't
cool
know
with
there's a
you, Ben.
poster. Yeah.
Is there a poster in there? No one?
I mean, it's a little one.
Oh.
You want me to show it to you or no?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
It's just like all the Titans.
Oh, okay, that's sick. Nice.
But it's much like a double spread.
That's fine. Um, so yeah, I guess we can kind of go through it and analyze how it happens. The final episode of Attack on Titan. So Ben, you got the manga there too to
Follow
show
along.
the yeah, exactly, follow along.
Just-
So I believe as it starts off right where the last episode left off, with all of them finally getting to Eren, the founding Titan form. Correct? Is that what the form he is in? Right? Is that what it is? The founding Titan.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's in the founding Titan. They show up, and they're finally about to execute their plan. And Ben, like, oh my god, it was so good. They were getting their asses whooped, bro. I was so nervous that so many people were gonna die, and I'm so glad no one did.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Well,
I don't think my little heart. Oh yeah, yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But I don't think my little heart could have taken it if like, oh my god. I think the only one I would have been okay with is Connie. Gonna be
same.
real. Um,
I guess that's fair actually.
but no, yeah, it was great. They get there and it is just bad. It is horrible. They're getting destroyed, and then we get some familiar faces show up. We get Falco in his Jaw Titan form, and so I guess the first thing I'll say too is whenever Eren starts spawning in all the other past Titan forms,
Uh-huh.
to help out. I guess that I was telling my buddies. So is that why we saw so much animal imagery like in season two? Because
Yeah.
I guess that some of them like kind of take that form of like animals in the way. Like Falco was a bird. We saw that the one thing that captured Armin. We saw a snake, I think, right? So
Yeah. So in that like opening and I think it was an opening, right?
it was an ending. Oh no, it was an
Oh,
opening. You're right. You're right.
oh, either one. But
Mm-hmm.
I the main villain of that season was Zeke, and so
Beast Titan. Yep.
um all of those animals they're supposed to be previous Beast Titan users.
Really? All of
Yeah,
the animals though. Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, that was a cool little thing that I noticed while we were watching. There were some sick forms, dude. I think some of the coolest ones were
Oh
the
yeah.
Armor Titan ones, bro. I was like, this thing is straight
No,
out of
yeah. The
Elden
armored
Ring,
one was
dude.
so cool,
That was like straight out
and
of
then
Elden Ring.
the there were some pretty cool Warhammer Titans too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, yeah, the Warhammer ones were sick. Um, yeah, I mean they were just some sick, cool designs where I'm like, dude, we could get so many stories just about these things alone, you know?
Yeah,
Which who knows, maybe they'll do eventually, or I don't know if they're just done with it. But yeah, so we see all those cool forms. That was one of the cool things that I noticed first. I liked Falco's design. It was really cool. Glad Annie showed up. Okay, first I will say this. Gabby gets off of another ridiculous shot. I was like,
I
that's
know.
that is cap, dude. I'm sorry. Gabby's not that good of a sharpshooter. Um, but that was funny.
Well, on the topic of Gabby, do you still hate her as much as you did whenever she killed Sasha? No.
Yes, I mean she's. I mean, what does she do? She doesn't even really do anything in this episode either, right? That I can remember. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm still on the El Gabby train. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, we get Peak gets a moment. She gets her moment to shine. That was so funny, little run she does. But it was pretty cool seeing her finally get to like fight and do some more like combat. Whereas she's been kind of this like utility piece, and we get to see her be able to jump out of her Titan easily and then just keep going. It seemed like she has a lot of
Yeah.
the most
Oh, that was
endurance
cool.
out of any of them. So that was sick. Reiner was also awesome in this final battle. And oh my gosh, dude, I loved that scene, Ben. The scene of him and Jean hanging from like
Yeah.
that final piece. No, are we gonna die? And he's just like, probably, man. And it's just like, oh my god, it was so good. And I just love how Levi was great too in this.
Dude, that was kind of
I mean, he didn't really do
insane.
much. I was gonna say,
Uh, no,
but
he
oh,
did a
I was
lot.
gonna say he had
Like,
some moments where he was like going on that Beyblade. It's like against Zeke. Remember that dude? Um.
like,
Oh my
no,
god.
there's a shot of what is Falco's brother's name?
Galliard, right? Is that him?
Yeah, Galliard.
Yeah.
There's a moment when Galliard's Jaw Titan came back and he
Hmm.
was going like hand to hand with it. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It was sick. Levi was dope, and he gets his moment towards the end of the movie, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, he was great. Mikasa and Armin was so awesome. It seemed like he was the main character of this episode, which rightfully so. I'm really gonna harp on you to help me out with the final ending stuff. So
Okay.
that's why I'm trying to just get through the the basics right here. So that all happens, and then their main goal is to um, try to cut the head off of the founding titan. So they wrap some dynamite around it. It's a struggle. It's a struggle, but they get there. And in the meanwhile, Ymir captures Armin and puts him inside of that animal. Right? I forgot what it was called, but puts him inside of that like animal. And it seems like Ymir is also trying to kind of helping out Eren and putting her own hand in this little fight to make
Hmm.
sure that Eren continues the rumbling. And so we get Eren, or we get Armin, who manages to get to the paths, right? That's what it's called,
Yeah.
where he then meets Zeke. Zeke talks to him, and he says that they're stuck there in a place kind of outside of space and time. Um, and then he talks with Armin, and they kind of talk and reflect on, I guess their most what is it? Would you say their happiest moments? I guess you could say, right? Because with Armin, it's he gets a leaf, and then Zeke gets a baseball, and then they're able to make contact with the other past Titan users in the paths. Correct? Am I doing that right, Ben? You
Yeah.
could you can say if I'm messing anything up, but at least
Yeah.
to my
No, that's fine.
understanding. So once they do that, they are able to communicate with them, and they're able to help them regain control of their Titans and therefore fight against Eren and Ymir in the real world. Once that happens, the tides finally start to turn, and then Zeke gets released from the paths and into the open, back to the real world, where he sees the beautiful just like canyons and just takes one final look and then gets sliced, gets fruit ninja'd real bad
Yeah,
by by Levi, right? It's Levi.
yeah. That
Mm.
was a. I don't know. I think everyone was wanting that, but
Yeah, it was
it
sad.
just kind of. I think Zeke finally turned a new leaf, and but
Mm-hmm. It was
he was like
necessary
ready
though.
to. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but it's glad to see that Levi doesn't have to like stress out about not fulfilling Erwin's
Mm-hmm.
final wish.
Yeah, I mean,
So that was nice.
they've been beefing back since season 3, man. It's
Yeah.
oh my god, just thinking back to that whole thing, Levi had to do it. And it was necessary to stop the rumbling. I mean, um, the reason. Oh, so yeah, once Zeke dies, once Levi kills Zeke, the rumbling stops because in order for Aaron to control all the Titans, he needs to be in contact with someone with royal blood. And since
Mhm.
Zeke had royal blood, he was able to hold on to him and move all the control of the Titans. I think one of the only other people that would have been able to do that was Historia. And luckily, she was all the way on the island, so she was not able to help out with that, which was good. Um, so once the rumbling stops, that's kind of when we see well, what happens after that. Ben? Oh, once the rumbling stops, that little the
Um,
centipede thing comes out, right? Or
yeah, the rumbling stops, and then I think they finally blow up Aaron's neck or the Titan's neck.
yes, well, because I'm trying to remember when Armin becomes the colossal titan.
Oh yeah,
But because what makes him do that? Does he just go off to? I forgot about that. What makes him do that?
like what makes him blow up or
Yeah,
what?
why does he? When does he choose to do that? I think.
I think it's man. I'm drawing a blank too. Um, I think it's after they blow Aaron's head off, and
Oh,
then
that's right.
tail dip, and then he does the colossal Titan thing.
Yes, that's right. So yeah, they blow the head off. He falls, and then I think that's when the centipede thing comes out, right? Which
Yeah,
so that thing comes out, and then Armin decides to. Oh yeah, that's right. It comes out, and then I think Reiner's trying to hold on to it, and then
yes,
Reiner,
yes,
yes,
yes.
yeah. So Reiner's trying to hold on to it to kill it. And Armin goes colossal to make a nuke go off to try and destroy it. And dude, that scene was crazy, bro. Like
Yeah,
just seeing how OP that thing is insane, man. It is literally a nuke. We see the perspective of all the Marlians and Eldians far away from the canyon. And it literally looks like a bomb just dropped and wipes everything away. And the only reason Reiner's can be there is because of his armor protecting him. Mm.
crazy.
And even then, it still blows through a great chunk of it. So yeah, so that happens. Armin goes off. Unfortunately, it does not kill the centipede thing. And then I think after that, what is this when we see Aaron's colossal titan come out? Or
Yeah,
so yeah, we see Aaron's colossal titan come out, and oh my god, Ben, we finally got something that we've been waiting to see since like episode 1 of the show, like a colossal titan v colossal titan.
yeah,
And my god, I mean I never thought we'd actually see it, and it was great. It was
pretty
awesome.
cool.
Aaron
Yeah,
looked so menacing. Um, and so while they're about to fight, this is going down. I think the centipede gets pretty close to the valley where all the people are.
mhm.
And I think it's worth mentioning too. We haven't really talked about it much too, but I mean the rumbling has killed so many people, and we get a very sad shot, a very depressing scene of all these people falling off a canyon, and
Yeah,
the baby getting passed to like try to get save it, and it is just awful, man. Like so many people died. Like I so many people are dead,
yeah,
all because of Aaron. And God, we'll get into it. We'll get into that more. But I think that's just important thing to remember is that so many people are dead because of him. So
uh-huh.
yeah, once we get to the kind of base of where the last like Marley fort is, the colossal or the armored titan Reinier is trying to hold on to the centipede looking thing, which I guess is a good time to explain what it is, right, Ben? It's this is pretty much the thing I think from my understanding of what actually Ymir touched that gave birth to Titans, correct?
Yeah. It's
He's
like the original being thing, whatever its
yeah.
actual name is.
Yeah, that's a weird name. So yeah, and it was inside the founding Titan, right? Is that where it was from now? Or
It's from what?
well, how was it like? How did it come out of Aaron like in this moment?
Oh, usually I think it comes out of the spine
Hmm.
or something.
Yeah, because that's what
Um,
happened when Aaron got his head shot off, right?
yeah.
So yeah, so it comes out. Reiner's trying to kill it. Meanwhile, all the crew finally gets safely to the fort. Not safely, but they land there. And the centipede thing, in order to try and kind of save itself and create a hassle, lets out its fume gases, and it ends up turning all of the Eldians that are there into Titans, and it's very sad. I thought for a moment that Sean and Connie were just gonna die, just like that. Um,
Too, honestly.
I was so scared. I saw them there, like sitting there and crying, and I was like, "No way! They're just gonna like just like that." And so they end up turning into Titans and just kind of being left there. And all the Titans are controlled by this centipede thing, so they all try to rush Reiner to try and free it. And while this is all going down, um, Armin is fighting Eren in the colossal Titan form, and it's a pretty beefy battle. They're trading blow for blow. They're going toe to toe, fighting and beefing and whatnot. And while this is happening, um, I think the Jaw Titan, Peak, and who's the other Titan with them? Annie. They kind of help Reiner to try and hold off the centipede. And so while this is going down, this is kind of where we start to get to the confusing parts. So after this, while they're on Falco, they're flying towards Eren and Armin. It's Mikasa and Levi, and I so we start to get a vision here of Mikasa with Eren, and Ben, this is where I kind of want you to take over, because I think it's supposed to be the message that Eren left to her, right, or something like that. It's when we get the vision of her at the on the like riverside in the cabin house crying.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna let you kind of analyze this.
So it's more of just like what I guess what Mikasa wants to see.
Mm-hmm.
If I
No, yeah, I think you're right.
remember that correctly.
That's why we see Aaron with
Um,
short hair. That's
yeah.
because that's how she enjoyed seeing him.
Um, so it's just kind of what could have been, I
Yes,
guess.
that's what I recall too. I believe they say that that moment when Aaron talks to Mikasa at the in that we see whenever Mikasa says that, oh, I see you as a friend. Ooh, it's okay. That they end up. Aaron just says screw it and just runs away with Mikasa, and they live a life in Paradise, kind of alone, secluded
Yeah.
until Aaron dies. But eventually, people do die because of Marley invading. But he ends up giving all that up just for her, which is
hmm
so fucking beautiful. Excuse my language. And yeah, it was just very unexpected and out of nowhere. Um,
Yeah.
it was
No,
unexpected.
it was.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. It's just kind of. I need to wait till we talk through the whole show
Yeah, yeah, we can
and the whole episode.
we can start getting there. So after that, Mikasa gets that realization from that vision with Eren that she's like, I'm the only one who's able to do this. I'm the only one who can kill him. So she ends up rushing towards Eren while Armin's fighting Eren, and Levi ends up throwing one of those thunder spears right at the teeth of Eren, blows open the chunk. Mikasa swings in like a badass, gets in there, and then she finally does it, Ben. She
Yeah.
ends up slicing off Eren Yeager's head, killing him, and stopping this hell that they're in,
Yeah.
saving the day. And there inside we see Mikasa holding Aaron's head with Ymir watching them in the background in his mouth, and then she gives him a kiss. We finally get the kiss, Ben. Oh my god, dude. Oh my
So were you
god.
expecting that?
No, what the hell? Are you kidding me? Well, okay. I
Or like,
guess
did
I
you
guess
expect Mikasa to go through with it? Is that
I no, I didn't. But I'm glad it was Mikasa. I knew that it was gonna come down to Mikasa and Eren confronting each other. Like it had to. It had to. But I did not think it would actually end with her killing him. But they actually did it.
yeah.
And oh my god, yeah, it was so crazy, Ben. It was crazy. I was not expecting that at all. And just seeing everything that's happened, all that they've been through, and where they come from, and oh my god, it was crazy. And then we get arguably one of the best scenes in Attack on Titan with Eren and Armin talking
No, I
in.
really like this
Oh
one.
my
I
god,
love
Ben.
this one.
This is where I started crying, Ben. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was beautiful. So we get the visions of Eren and Armin talking, with Eren explaining him everything. They start off as little kids because that's when what Armin saw as like the time when they were both together and happy and careless. So they talk, and Eren pretty much explains. And Ben, please feel free to, if I'm messing anything up or don't include anything. Eren pretty much tells him the whole plan of what he plans to do and what has to happen, and that this is the only way for him to save his friends and for them to be happy. And we get that scene there of them at the river, of them by the river canal, and then it switches to a volcano eruption with all of them there, with Eren and Armin there, and then we get to the scene of them two at the water. Well, it starts off as water, and then it turns to blood when we see that Eren starts talking about how he can't undo any of this, and that at the end of the day he's going to go to hell, that he cannot be forgiven for his sin of killing 80% of the population.
Yeah.
80% of the population.
Yeah.
And I think this was the best moment just because we finally, for the first time since the beginning of season 3, maybe, finally see the real Eren come out, and he talks about how he hates how he got all this power and that he's just a complete idiot and doesn't think that he should be in control at all. That he's
Yeah.
literally just a dumb idiot who fell into a lot of power, and he's going insane because he's been cursed with knowledge of the past and the future simultaneously, and he hates it. And then I think Armin punches him in the face and then talks about how he said if he wanted Mikasa to be happy, and he just says that he wanted her to think about him, for that he actually did love her. He actually was in love with her. And I think it was
Yeah.
just so sad, Ben. It was so sad. Um,
It's just like it makes it sad because
there's nothing you
like
could do.
these past 3 years that we've been watching the show, we haven't gotten a perspective into what Aaron's thinking about.
Exactly.
And so from our point of view, he comes off as this like
Mm-hmm.
really cold, like, okay, yeah, like this really cold, mean dude. But I mean, he is, but at the same time, all he just cares about his friends, and he finally
Yeah.
just
All he wanted to do
says
was,
it.
yep, be there and talk to his friends. That's literally what he says. He said, "This way, I knew some of y'all were gonna die," and he admits like how he knew how horrible it was, but he says that the only reason that he did it was to make sure his friends were safe. And yeah, it was beautiful. It was amazing to see unfold. So we get that scene, and then I think the best moment when Eren says that he's going to hell for everything that he's done, and there's no way that he could be forgiven for this. That what he did
Yeah,
was unexcusable. And then Armin says that he's also going to be going to hell for killing so many people, especially when he first goes off in the bay at the beginning of season 4. That was insane. So they hug, and they say that they'll see each other again in hell. Which, oh my god, man, it was, oh dude, it was
yeah, they
so
did.
great.
They did change one line that I'm trying to find that
Hmm.
I think was a good change, honestly.
That's what I heard. I heard there were a few lines. I think my friend told me that.
Yeah, so in the part when Aaron and Armin are talking, instead of talking about like going to hell and whatnot,
Hmm.
um, that wasn't even there in the manga. Armin literally just says, "Thank you for becoming a mass murderer for our sake," and no one really liked that.
Yeah,
They thought it's kind
yeah.
of weird. Um,
Let me see if I
but
can find another line. My friend said that.
um, but everyone, at least from what I've seen so far, really likes how they're both talking
Mhm.
about how they're both gonna go to hell.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This is another one. He said, "Oh, he also brings up again his mother, when she died, and then apparently there was a line that said, "I had my mom killed to fuel my rage."
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
something like that. So, um, yeah, but I liked that's the little callbacks and just how it is all kind of. This show has done such a beautiful job of working to the callbacks and explaining like how everything has had a purpose, and I really would love to hear what the author has to say if he literally has done this all intentionally,
yeah.
because it's insane to have that all planned out so masterfully. So yeah, we get that beautiful scene. After that, Armin and Aaron kind of Armin snaps out of it and comes back to reality, and he sees Mikasa and the others, with Mikasa with the head of Aaron in her arms, and Armin goes over there and cries. And oh my god, dude, that was so sad. Yeah,
Tough.
it was
That
tough.
was tough.
It was tough. And in that moment, we see that he talked to all of them. He talked to Mikasa, which we kind of saw glimpses of. He talked to Connie, where he told him that his mom was alive. Because, yeah, that's another thing, too. Aaron, in dying, his final wish was to kind of take away this burden of the Titan curse. So Titans are now no longer existing in the real world. Additionally, everyone who has Titan powers got their curses removed, so they will live longer than, I think, was it 4 years or 7 years? I always forget. It was
It
whatever
was.
whatever the predetermined years were that you get on your life.
It's like whenever you get Titan powers, you're limited to 13
Oh,
years.
13 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So
so
Aaron got it when he was a kid, so he only
mhm.
had a few more left.
Yeah, so pretty much Aaron saved them all. And I remember that line that Peak said, that she said that she wished that she got to talk to him. Because he didn't leave her a message, man. That's kind of mean,
Yeah.
um but yeah, so once that happens, we kind of flash forward into the future a bit with, I think it's like a couple months after or something like that, or maybe it's a year or two, maybe it's a couple years, I don't remember. We flash forward into the distant, a little couple years or so into the future, maybe, with Paradis kind of rebuilding fully, from everything that happened, with all the walls finally removed, and it's so crazy to see. The walls removed and them kind of rebuilding with just the scars of the footprints left in the ground, which is so cool to see. And we get a picture, or we get a little scene of all of the ambassadors coming to Paradise Island to kind of talk about doing a treaty between Historia and the new political group that's in charge, the Jaegerists, on the island. So we get to see that little interaction. It's cool finally seeing all of our main characters that we've been following: Annie, Bertolt Reiner, or not Bertolt, rest in peace, man. Um,
Rip.
Annie Reiner, Peak, um, and then Armin, John, Connie, all of them together. These, it's two fighting sides throughout the whole show finally come together on the same team and same side and work together to kind of bring peace and become these peaceful ambassadors for the whole world. And they kind of joke about how Aaron kind of had them kill him in order to become the heroes of the world, that they're also Eldians, so that way people can be like, okay, these guys are actually good, right?
Yeah.
So he planned it all out, and or I guess it was predetermined. He knew the future, whatever. So that this is how it was all planned to be, and that's how it ends. And then we see it end with them getting to the coast to talk peace agreements, and then we see Mikasa on the treetop there crying. Finally there with the buried iron. Right where the show began is right where it ends, which is crazy and just so beautiful. And I think that if I ever, when I eventually do rewatch the show, it's gonna be crazy to see everything and just know how it all ends. I mean,
Yeah.
we see Mikasa there, and then it ends with her with a dove coming down and wrapping the scarf around her, showing that Eren, that symbol of freedom that has been in the show for a while, showing that Eren's still there and cares for her. And yeah, so it ends with us going through some time and some time going through, and we keep flashing into the future and the future with Mikasa getting older, going there and visiting the grave. Then eventually it becomes industrialized. We start to see actual skyscrapers and cities, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So we see that, and then we eventually see that it comes full circle and leads to war, because I guess the whole theme of the show is that war never changes, and that and that it is always going to happen, and that it's just human nature for there to always be fighting, which is a strong message that the show kind of pushes through, which I thought was beautiful,
Yeah.
and very deep and meaningful. And so I heard, Ben, that my friend was saying that another scene that people were a little iffy on, that they don't really emphasize much in the show, is that apparently Mikasa goes with her granddaughter or something like that. Do you?
Yeah. So at the end of the episode when the credits are rolling and then there's that little screen of like the tree and then like time going by.
Yeah.
Um if you look closely, like first it's just Mikasa and then it's Mikasa and John with their kid.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so is that who she
And then
marries?
yeah.
Wow, Jean. You're just gonna steal
So that
Aaron's
just
girl
keeps
like that. That's crazy.
that's that just keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then I think at one point they showed Mikasa dying and they bury her there too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, that just kind of keeps going and going until you get to the whole city and then the bombing.
Yeah. So that's Attack on Titan. That's how it ends. So I guess we'll get into our thoughts of how of our opinions on the ending, of what we liked, disliked. Ben, would you like to go first?
See, I really liked it because that I enjoyed that he didn't end like this whole cycle of violence. Like
Yeah, no, I agree.
I enjoyed that even though it's very wrong that he killed 80% of the population, he did it just out of the sake of his friends.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like he didn't care about anyone else but them. So he just wanted them to live long, happy lives, and they did.
No, yeah,
But eventually, that conflict comes back, and that's no one in the show that we know has to deal with it. So yeah, that's
yeah.
what I like about it.
I agree. I agree. I think that it's kind of reminds you of like Shakespeare tragedies, right? Where it's yeah. I mean, you get in the micro, it's a happy ending, but in the macro, it's like you didn't really change much, right? But eventually, and it's kind of crazy to think that this whole thing of Titans is just going to become a distant past memory, and it eventually becomes something that just didn't even matter at all.
Yeah,
It's one of those things, and I always feel so. It's always weird whenever I have a show like that that has those predetermined. It was all destined to happen and didn't really matter type beat, or not that it didn't really matter, but um,
yeah,
and it has a lot to think about, and philosophically of just like how life works and how precious the now is compared to the future, right? It's living in the now and the present, which is ironic because Aaron had anything but that. So
hmm
I I think that it was just so beautiful. There were a few things that, I mean, if you want to nitpick on, like, come on, you mirrored the whole Stockholm syndrome thing. I'm like, all right, but yeah, I mean, it was just beautiful seeing how Mikasa was able to um stop all that, and how she was able to break the cycle. And we don't really know why Ymir chose Mikasa. I mean, we can assume that it's because she had kind of similar love to Eren that Ymir did to the King Fritz, possibly. But I love how it still left some things vague, and that whole Ymir situation is kind of still a little vague to me. which I think is a good thing. And I mean, we didn't even touch on it, Ben, but we get the scene of once Eren dies, the scene of them seeing all their comrades in the ghost forms. Um,
Yeah, that
we
was kind of
see, yeah, we see Connie and John see Sasha, and then Levi sees Erwin, Hanji, and all the other past folks from the show who've bit the dust. And that was really sad. I mean, Levi has just been going through so much, and I feel like him and I think Pete kind of bonded a bit over how they really only live to serve their comrades, it seems, and it was just beautiful again to see Levi finally get his closure that he needed um, in the show, which was awesome. And yeah, I think you're right, Ben. It's just so beautiful seeing how it all kind of comes full circle, and how what Aaron did impacted all led to this, right? For them to
yeah.
finally be free, and now they are, and they all get to live long, happy lives, like you said. But
So I don't know if you picked this up,
hmm,
um, but do you remember at the beginning of like the show where Aaron's sitting at the tree like crying and whatnot?
hmm,
That's like because of him dying. So
hmm,
I actually went back and reread it, and it starts off with Mikasa saying, "See you later, Aaron." So which that's right when she's killing him or
hmm,
whatnot.
yeah,
And then they talk for a second, and then he says, "Mikasa, your hair, it's gotten longer, hasn't it?" Because whenever they're fighting in the future, she has really short hair.
hmm,
So I thought that was a cool little
yeah.
foreshadowing
I
thing.
mean, it's just yeah, it's crazy. One thing I will say I always forget when we first see Falco at the beginning of season 4 talking about like flying and stuff like that. Is that just because he got a vision too from?
Yeah, so essentially he got like kind of a memory from the paths, pretty much.
Hmm.
Um, and that memory is was of him.
In the future?
Uh, yeah,
That's
like
crazy.
whenever he mentions flying, I think
Yeah.
that's of him in his bird form.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. It's crazy too because in that moment he's looking at a bird, which is yeah
yeah,
crazy
birds are a very like
symbolic thing in the show.
key imagery in the show. Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, but I loved it. I think that it's just so sad that I feel like this whole is very interesting, and I mean it's such a bold choice that since I mean halfway through season 3, Aaron kind of just becomes this different character, and it's like we really haven't seen him as like Aaron in so long, and
yeah.
oh my god, I could just talk about him for ages, dude. How everything he did, like that whole scene of him beating up Armin and Mikasa was to try and drive them to more hatred towards him. Um, it was beautiful. His whole philosophy and just coming around to it, the, his whole thing, it was just great. I loved it, Ben. I loved it. I'm so happy it turned out the way it is, and it's gonna be so sad that it's over, but it's
Yeah,
in the books, Ben. It's in the books.
it's good. It was amazing.
It's good. It's good. Please write
It was
more.
worth the wait.
Yeah.
I can say it's worth the wait.
I can't say it's worth the wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Jeez, dude. I mean, it's very rare, Ben. I don't know when we're gonna see a show like this again. So.
It's weird because that's like it's one of the newer shows. Like I don't even know if Attack on Titan would be considered new gen whenever it started. That's kind of just like
Hmm.
the awkward middle sibling.
Yeah.
But still, I feel like this is the first big show to end in a while. I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah. You're right.
I honestly don't know what the last one, like a big show like this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Unless I'm just blanking.
No, I can't. I can't really think of it either. So it's gonna be interesting to see the next time this happens. Who knows what show it's gonna be? Um, but yeah, I mean, it's over. It was amazing. I'm glad that people on the internet overreact just like usual. I'm so glad that I was really expecting this ending to be really bad, Ben. I was expecting it to be bad. So I'm glad that I set my expectations low because the highs were high. So it was great.
Yeah,
It was beautiful. I loved it. I'm glad. I feel like everybody got their closure they needed and got a happy ending. So that's what matters to me. I hope Annie and Armin ended up together. I don't know if we know if that happens, but hope they did. Um,
wait, I don't remember. I think
yeah.
I'm pretty sure they do. I don't think they tell us though.
Okay. Well, that's good. But that's all I gotta say, Ben. It was great. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I feel like. Oh my gosh, I feel like if I watched the show from like start to finish without
Mm-hmm.
having to wait years, I feel like it would be so much different.
Oh yeah. I wonder. I haven't seen season one in so long, dude. Um, I feel like going back and looking at everything then now, sheesh. So.
Like even just the I've gotten so used to Mappa doing it,
Mm-hmm.
so just seeing Wit, it just threw me off.
But see, I really think that kind of was a good thing. Um, as it really kind of sets them like a different, like this is like so long ago. You know what I mean? Like this was the
Yeah,
past. It really makes it feel more like the past. Um, and I think just Mappa, not that their animation is better or worse than Wits. It's better. It's better. But you know what I mean. Um, it's not that it's not that it's it's not that it's just better to look at. It's the fact that it looks a little more different and grittier, kind of going along with the tone of them being all mature and older. So I think I liked that how it had that different distinction. We kind of get the pre everything goes to shit, and then the after everything goes to shit. So
yeah,
I think that's cool how that worked out, even if it wasn't intentional. So yeah, amazing show, Ben. Um,
I know.
what would you give it out of 10, dude? What would you give it out of 10? Would you stamp it?
See, I don't want to dock points for making me wait 3 years for just one season, but
That's
put a
crazy.
9. I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
I don't care how good the ending was. You made me wait that long.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Um well yeah, I mean that's all I gotta say, Ben. You ready to wrap it up?
It's like I have so much to say, but I don't know how
Right?
to.
No, I agree. I agree. Maybe we'll come back to it. We can come back to it another time. Yeah, looking back through everything, because yeah, it's so great. So good. Um
Yeah.
I'm glad every character just, oh, yeah,
Yeah, like every character had a good like conclusion.
yeah, I agree. It's just so sad seeing like shows like this, like where it ends. You know what I mean? Like twenty
Yeah.
percent of the population is dead, Ben, or 80% is dead.
80.
Sorry, 80% is dead.
Uh,
And it's just seeing from like episode one, all these faces and knowing where it ends is just so. It's just so sad.
Maybe if I watch it again, I'll forget how it ends eventually.
I wish,
I'm
but
just gonna know Annie's the female Titan and Reiner's the armored Titan and Bertolt's the
see,
colossal Titan.
that's what makes it good to rewatch, Ben, because to see if you notice any like pickups or anything like that. So
Oh, there's this weird theory that's been going around that we see adult Eren in a lot of season one.
like in the background or
I don't.
something like that.
Yeah,
Interesting.
but I don't know. It's
Hmm.
just kind of thrown out there, but the people that they point out, it kind of does look like him. Not gonna lie.
Hmm. We'll
So
have to. We'll look into that.
I don't know how he'd be there though, because he's not
Yeah.
like a time traveler. He can't
Hmm.
physically be there, but he knows what happens.
Yeah. So yeah, but anyways,
Uh,
think we're ready, Ben. Do you want to sign us out?
I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be the last time we ever talk about the show, maybe.
No. Don't
Oh, it's
say that.
so
Don't
weird.
say that, Ben. Don't do that. It's a bittersweet ending.
Is it?
I mean, it's sad, dude. It's sad that we're done talking about it. So, um, I'm sad at least that it's over. I Yeah, I mean, there's so many good moments, dude, throughout. Um, God, I mean, just the fact that Hanji's gone too. It's just like, mm, yeah, it's crazy. The tone just feels so different.
Yeah.
It just feels like there's such a switch from from point A to B. It feels like almost two
Yeah.
different shows entirely. Um, but yeah, it's very sad again with Aaron, how it's just looking at him from seasons 1 through 3 and just seeing how everything switches once his hand touches Historia. Because right, that's the real moment when it happens, right? When
Yeah.
he learns
That's
everything.
when he sees like everything.
Yeah. So I
That's
mean,
crazy.
yeah, knowing how he deals with that, because we still see him a couple times after that in season 3. It's like wow. I kind of want to go back and rewatch that moment and just see the switch. So yeah, it's a huge moment in the show, and if anything, finishing the show kind of makes me just want to rewatch it. So I might do that.
Oh yeah. No,
Um.
as soon as I finished, I was like, man, I need to rewatch it
Oh
because
yeah.
having these gaps, like you definitely forget some stuff.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
but watching it back to back without a year break, you feel like you'd remember things a bit better.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. So I think it's on Crunchyroll dubbed, right? So um,
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna rewatch it. Just in the background. Just, oh my god, I can't wait. I honestly just want to go watch it now. um, but yeah. God, Mikasa and her whole resolve. Okay, oh yeah, that's one thing. One good question, Ben. What happens with Mikasa? Or like, I mean, like, what was the whole
Mhm.
thing with the Ackerman blood? How did that whole thing work? Is
I
it
actually
just because they're
don't
like,
know. I don't know if that's actually true. I think it definitely has something to do with the royal bloodline in
mm-hmm,
some way.
yeah?
Um, but yeah, I actually don't know. That's a great question.
Because I remember Levi said that they were immune, the Ackerman blood,
I know
and
the
then
yeah, the Ackermans are immune.
and then just the Titan shifters were immune. So, just interested about that. So like stuff like that, I want to go back and watch because that whole first part of season 3 is a little blurry to me. So I kind of want to go back and watch that. Um,
Hold on.
oh.
Let's see. I have to do, but why? Why? Why are they immune, Joseph?
That's a good question, Ben. That's what I was asking you, man.
Da, da, da. They were designed or designated. I'm pretty sure they mean designated. They were designated to protect Eldia's king, which at the time was King Fritz. Um, blah 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 blah.
Blah 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 blah
No.
blah.
Oh, I think it's just like it's literally just random.
Really?
When the yeah, when the king erased the memories of the people inside using the power of the founding titan, the Ackermans were among those immune to it. The others included the Asian clan and those who would later become the noble families inside the walls. So I guess there's
Hmm.
noble families are immune to it for some reason.
Okay.
No one really knows why.
Gotcha. Okay.
Plot
Oh
hole.
yeah. Nah. No. With Attack on Titan, no. Never. So.
Fair.
But yeah, great show. It's top 3 for me. It has to be. So, um,
Really?
oh yeah, definitely. Um, it's up there with JoJo's and Mob for me. So, um, just amazing shows all around. Makes me want to watch Villain Saga now because Sachino Mappa did that. So I need to watch that, dude. I always see such good stuff about it. I need to understand the meme of the guy with the happy and then the sad face. So
Yeah, there's a. You know how Berserk has deluxe editions?
yeah.
They're making some for Vinland Saga.
Oh.
And so I started reading it, but I only got the first two volumes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I heard they're coming out with those. I don't want to get those. Because even in like the first two volumes, it's a really good story, and I want to keep reading, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get the whole volume set and then buy it again.
Yeah, no, exactly. There you go. That's sick. Well, yeah, I want to excited to check it out, but sad Ben. I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna. Were we talking about Attack on Titan when when we started doing this?
I think
That'd be crazy if it was. It might have been
when did we
season.
start? February of last year ish.
Yeah, dude, it's almost been two.
Yeah.
It's almost been 2 years, Ben.
Stop.
That's crazy. God, time. It's the worst.
That shows how many weeks behind we've been.
Yes. Yeah.
Could be at 104 if we've done it every week.
Really? Oh damn.
If we've done it every week for a year, that's 52. And so for 2 years, it's 104.
It's fair.
So we'll be at like
just behind a bit. Well, that's why episode 100 is gonna be crazy. So, but yeah. I mean, I really don't know what else to say about the show. I could go on for just hours just rambling about just nonsense about it, but for the sake of time, I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah, true.
You agree, man?
I agree.
It's sad, but all good things must come to an end. I hope we talk about Attack on Titan again someday.
It's a false statement, Joseph.
Okay.
If all good things have to come to an end, then why is One Piece still going?
Yeah, you could say that, couldn't you? Anyways, yeah, we're done. We're done here. Thank you guys so much for watching Talking Brothers podcast. We love you guys. Attack on Titan, one of the greatest animes of all time, is wrapped up this past weekend, and it is going to be remembered forever. It's going to go down in the history books.
History books. History class.
It is one day. You're gonna learn about King Fritz. So yeah. Anyways, I've been Joseph. Ben.
I've been Ben.
Ben.
As Ben. Ben played by Ben.
We will see you guys in episode 70. Thank you all. # episode 69.
Peace.
Arrivederci.